Hello, and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Dr. Alison ChIwara. I'm the CEO and founder of Human Focus Limited, a company that is truly and absolutely dedicated to creating happier and healthier societies, nations, workforces, and communities. Thank you once more for joining me on this podcast. Today, I want to talk about delays. There's protection in those delays. I want to talk on a really human to human level. No theories, no nothing in between, just truth. That's the space where you've been doing everything right. You've been showing up like ridiculously and trying to stay disciplined and holding on to what you believe is truly yours. And along that line, nothing seems to be moving the way that you expected, or at least expect. No clear direction in terms of doors opening, no breakthroughs, just stagnance, quietness that is just impossible to explain. And somewhere along that line, you think, is this even working? Is this even working? And I want us to talk a little bit about this, and I don't want to rush past this because that space right there. That's where many people lose themselves, not because they're not capable, but because the delays start to feel like as if you're saying that you're not entitled to those breakthroughs. They start to make you doubt your breakthroughs. Now, here's the shift I want you to sit with on a personal level. Delay is not always a bad thing. I want to go deeper and say that sometimes it's protection. I was sharing this with a fellow colleague of mine, Phoebe. You see, sometimes you're here praying for something and you're working towards something and you're saying, I'm ready now, God. I'm ready. And somehow life is not responding the way that you wish it would respond, or at least you expect it to respond. But what if, please hear me out, and I hope I'm speaking to somebody here. What if the response is actually, yes, it's yours, but not like this, not yet, not in this moment. And that is where it gets really uncomfortable. Are you with me? Because we don't struggle with receiving. We struggle with timing we don't control or don't have control over. And I want us to be honest here. Sometimes we're ready in desire, but we're not ready in structure. I hope I'm speaking to somebody. You want the opportunity, but your discipline still needs tightening. You want the next level, the next elevation, but really your environment is still completely misaligned. You're off the path and you want more responsibility, but your mindset still shakes when you're cold under pressure. Are you with me? And sometimes and somehow deep down, when we're having these delays, we know it ourselves that we're not ready. But because you want it so badly, you start to convince yourself, I'm ready. But meanwhile, somewhere, God, the universe, life, or whatever you believe in is looking at the bigger picture and saying, let's prepare you properly and structurally. Let your roots be so deep that you're unshakable. Let your foundation be so firm that when the wind comes, you won't blow. And this is where we miss it. Because in these delays, there is work happening. It's invisible work, but it's necessary work. There are thorns around you sometimes that still need plucking. What am I talking about here? You've got old habits, you've got old thinking, you've got old reactions, and some neuroplasticity hasn't taken place here. We're taking a little bit back into neuroscience. We have not unlearned the bad old habits so that we can relearn and learn new habits. We have not adapted new thinking so that our old thinking can be erased. We are not applying neuroplasticity to our environments, to our lives, to our personal growth. And these are the thorns around us that we still need to pluck before we can move forward. And because they're still there, guess what? It's thorny, it's hurting. So it feels like we're in stagnance and there's delays. You see, these are things that if they follow you into the next level, they will quietly but most definitely sabotage what you prayed for. I hope I'm speaking to somebody. Then there's a hedge that needs trimming. Do you understand? I'm speaking riddles today. You know, these are your boundaries, your time, your focus. Because not everything, not everybody can go with you into this next level. And let's be real. I want us to be really truthful with ourselves. And not everybody can go with you into this next level or move forward with you into this next zone. Now, what am I saying? It's not because they are bad people. No. You see, I really want to touch on this. Not everyone can go with you into the next level, not because they are bad people. It's because they're not really aligned, shall I say, with where you are going. They don't perhaps understand where you are right now and where you're headed, but they understood the chapter before. You know, even religiously, there are people that are aligned to your journey. They are there for a season, but sometimes they must come off so that other people can get on this train. There are some people that will walk with you throughout your journeys, but it's understanding what season you're in and whether they're still aligned to that season. And if you don't deal with that in this moment of delay, you will carry confusion into your next level of your elevation or your back breakthroughs. I hope I'm speaking to somebody. Then there are people, so not everybody, but some. So there are people also who are meant to carry you forward and who you are meant to carry forward. People who sharpen you, people who ground you, people who tell you the necessary truths, the ugly, the bad, and the pretty. People who remind you who you are. And sometimes the delay is giving you time to recognize those people properly. It's a moment of pause. They say that when you're under pressure, when you stop and you breathe, you bring back clarity. Sometimes I always look at life and say those moments of delays are my personal pauses. I hope this makes sense. And then there are people you haven't even met yet, my darling. People connected to your next level, your next opportunity, and your next expansion. But if things move so quickly and too quickly, how can you prune? How much time will you have under pressure to prune? The good, the bad, and thank those that have come so far with you. You then miss the alignment, won't you? So yes, there's some things we don't say enough. And I want to start by saying there is magic in delays. I always say there's magic in the unusual things surrounding our lives, surrounding our personal growth. Yes, this magic doesn't come with immediate celebrations, no. The magic delays is one that you understand later on. I always say they are the magic that you look back at. They are the dots that you look back at and connect and say, wow, I get it now. Because you see, in this space, delay does something powerful. Delays allow you to build really firm roots. You become more grounded. You become more aware of who you are. You become more aware of the skills that you have. You become more aware of the patience that you have. You become more aware of the passion that you have to this project, to this new calling in your life, and to this journey that you're about to undertake. Because anything that comes quickly and without the depth that delay gives you, I believe, really lasts. I may be wrong. Now, I want us to come back a little bit here and bring it back to something a little bit more simpler. The moment that you say this is delayed, what are you really saying to yourself? You are saying, I know something good is coming. It's just taking time, hence the word delayed, because we know it is not cancelled. We know it is coming, but it's taking longer, hence the word delay. So even in your frustration, there is belief. You haven't given up. You've just tired. You are just tired of the waiting. And we spoke last time about the magic in the almost, in the waiting. And that's human. Now, I want to bring this back into real life. In those moments when you apply, I was just talking to my daughter the other day, and we're talking about delays, and she said, Mommy, there's certain companies that I really want to do my internship with. Mommy, I've applied to this particular company's no response. And I say to her, delay is not denial. There are times when you've been building on a project, on a startup, and this slow traction, and you begin to wonder if you're doing the right thing. There are times you've showed up time and time again and no immediate recognition for what you're doing. And everything in you wants to say, this isn't bloody working. This is not working. But what if it is working? What if it is working? Just not in the way that you want to see it yet. Not in the way that it is visible yet to those around you or to your process. I always say that growth is very internal. Your thinking has to change. This is also in this moment, your discipline is somehow gaining traction and strength. Your resilience is built in the moments of delays. And none of these things that I've spoken about, change in your thinking, change in your discipline, build up of your resilience, they are not the things that show up and loudly when you are in a space of delay that you can say this is a win. But those things matter. See, my mother used to say, mwanangu, nokuti zviri kutora nguva hazvirevi kuti hazvisi kuuya kwauri. I'll try and translate this. In other words, she used to say, just because it's taking time, it doesn't mean those things aren't coming to you. And she'll say, the first day that you plant a seed, it does not blossom on that day. It first grows its root beneath the ground before you can actually see it above. Bachiti ali mbewa idyarwa musi wainobereka inotanga yatombodzika midzi yayo pasi usati waiona kumusoro. And that's what you're in. Root building in delay. It's not denial. Now let's talk about what happens next, because many people stop here, right? They get tired. They start overthinking. They start overanalyzing. They walk away too soon. And that's the real loss. Because often, the difference between those who make it and those who don't is that one group stayed a little longer. Entrepreneurs like Richard Branson talk about this all the time. Years of consistency, nothing major happening. Then one day, boom, something lands. And suddenly, it looks like as if it was overnight success. But it wasn't overnight. It was built in the delay. So instead of asking, why is this taking so long? I want you to re-narrate that and say, what is it this time is preparing me for? What is this time preparing me for? That question will shift your mindset, because mindset is everything when you're in delay, because now you're not waiting passively. That changes. You're building intentionally while in wait. You're refining your habits. You are resharpening, rethinking your ideologies. And you're looking at the environment around you and seeing, how do I make this project? How do I make this product fit into the environment that I'm currently in? So when the moment comes, you just don't receive it. You handle it well. And maybe that's the real goal. Not just to get it, but it's now to sustain it. Do you see that? So the one thing that I want you to walk away with is that delay is therefore all about sustainability long term. If things feel slow right now, if things feel unclear for you right now, if you're in that quiet, in between space, please don't rush out of it. Check what needs adjusting. Check what you need to release. Check what needs strengthening. Because this season is doing more for you than you will ever realize. And one day, you will look back and say, I thought I was being delayed, but it was actually the moment I was being prepared for this. So breathe. Stay intentional. Please keep going properly this time, because delayed is not denied. It's just like saying, hey, not yet. But when it happens, you understand why the timing had to be this way. I pray that in your hours of delay, when your goal happens, when your breakthrough happens, I hope that you will have everything you've wanted over the last however strength or stretch of delay. You will get it all in that one season. All the delays of the seasons of delays will be all accomplished in just that one season. Delay is not denial. From me, to you, from Human Focus Limited to your company, to your households, to your nations, your communities, your societies. It's goodbye for now. Until next Wednesday. Tune again soon. Ta for now.